Ladies and guys who like hearing interesting, funny stories from my sex life because your life is boring as fuck. Andy here, author of the best Tinder guide on the internet. This is the Kill Your Loser show. I'm joined with my guest, my co-host, my debutante of the ball, Imogen Bacon. I've revealed her last name now. You all know her name. You can dox her. Yep, Imogen Bacon. So, Imogen Bacon, what are we doing here? We're going to tell these people with boring lives how cool my life is. Fuck yeah.
I mean, technically this story wouldn't necessarily make you cool.
This story makes me sound so fucking cool. So, this is a short story of a girl that we met for a threesome.
Yep.
This was when we lived in this shit fuck city called Melbourne, Australia. Shithole city. And we met this girl. And we're going to have a threesome with her. Like, we very specifically said, let's have threesomes. Threesomes are cool. Threesomes are love. Threesomes are life. Threesomes make your dick hard, make your pussy wet. Threesomes are good, right? And we met this chick. I think we met her on my Tinder. Or did we meet her on...
It was mine. I think we had met her on my Tinder. I had specifically said in my profile, like, looking for a girl for a threesome. I'm like with a guy.
You told her specifically that you're dating me.
We sent pictures, I think, of both of us.
I think we sent nude pictures of both of us too. So she even saw my like rock hard fucking little like 2-inch penis. Just lying. I got a big old fucking 80-inch dick. What's a normal inch for guys?
I think the average is like 5 point something.
Mine's 5.5 meters, like an average. Mine's pretty average. And so we meet up. She's seen my dingle. She's seen your fucking little hole and your boobs and stuff like that.
Sure.
So we meet her for a drink and I think we just met I think we went to a cafe or whatever. It doesn't fucking matter. So we're sitting on these steps, right? We're about to invite her back I'm about to invite her back to our place to have a fucking, 2+1 affair. And she said, like, she's asking us random questions. And then she randomly says, like, what are your deal breakers? Like, for both of us. And we just said some, boring shit that we normally say, like,
Normal deal breakers,
yeah, not into, like, getting stabbed, not into, like, you stealing all my money, not into cuckoldry, not into pigeon sex, like stuff like that, like the normal sort of deal breaker stuff that like a lot of us are not into. If you're into any of that stuff, I'm not going to kink shame or anything. You're a fucking freak, but I'm not going to kink shame. I'm joking, by the way. I don't give a fuck what anyone's into. And then we say to her, what are your deal breakers?
Yeah.
And she looks me in my eyes, in my fucking beautiful beady eyes, my beady Jewish eyes.
Not Jewish.
I could be Jewish. She looks me in my eyes. She's fucking Hitler looking me. I'm fucking Anne Frank, and she's looking me in the eyes as Hitler. I go, what are your deal breakers? And she goes, you. Looking me dead in my fucking innocent, beautiful, naive eyes. And I'm like, what do you mean, me? And you're even confused at this point. And she was all like, you.
She thought she was joking at the start.
I thought she was fucking trolling. And she's like, I don't want you to touch me.
Yeah, she's like, I'm not into men. Like, the idea of a penis, like, freaks me out.
Disgust me, yeah. I don't want to be... Jesus, see, I'm dying just even remembering this story. She says, like, I don't want you to touch me. I don't want a man to touch me. And I'm like, bitch, is this, like, what is this shit? Are you being serious? And like, yeah, she's being absolutely fucking serious. So obviously I'm immediately like, okay, well, peace out. Nice knowing you. Like, bye. And she was all like, wait, what? She gets confused. And she's like, what? Are you...
Serious?
Yeah, she's like, are you guys serious? Are you leaving? And I'm like, so I don't know if this girl was like trying to cuck me and like she just fucks you and I have to sit in the corner and cry or something.
I don't know.
Like what was her plan?
It's like,
but she knew. You specifically said threesome. I'm in a relationship. We're going to have a threesome. I think she wanted to cuck me. I think she was, and she was pretty cute too. She was pretty attractive too. Not that that matters, but like that's makes it more annoying. Actually, no, it doesn't. If she was unattractive, first of all, why would we be on a date with her if she wasn't attractive? But if she was unattractive, that would probably make it worse, wouldn't it? It's like being insulted by, it's like the first time, a fat girl rejects you and she's like, I'm sorry, I have a boyfriend. And you're like, no, you're ugly, fat bitch. And then you run away crying because you're like, how could a chubby girl reject me?
terrible.
Well, that's just me. Maybe that's just me. She's like, I'm sorry, I have a boyfriend. And you're like, you're fucking ugly, or and you cry. Anyway, back to the story. So fuck this bitch. And then a couple weeks ago, one of the girls that we're currently seeing right now, who was a lesbian,
Was.
who says on her Tinder bio, we met her, we did a podcast on her a couple of days ago. Her Tinder says she's a lesbian. And
we had to ask the question.
We literally asked her on the fucking date. I was like, well, we asked her before and then we like made sure on the date. Just like, yeah, we told her that story and we're like, you are actually into guys, right? Like you do actually want to fuck. Because what she said when we first asked her that, she's like, yeah, why would I meet you if I did? And we were like, well, let us tell you a story. This is why. Like she fucking loved that story. Anyway. Yeah. So the moral of the story is, what's the takeaway from this story?
I think the takeaway is that sometimes
don't date psychos.
Okay, well, it's kind of an actual takeaway.
That is the takeaway.
Of no matter how hard you screen, sometimes idiots will still slip in.
This is true. Like you see this with my website too, right? Like, remember that guy that emailed us? After everything I took, yeah, I know this, but after everything that I put on my website about honesty and like leaving girls better than you found them, adding to the lives of those around you, like all that kind of shit, like ethics, morality, all that kind of shit. Yeah. That one guy that emailed in was like, hey, so I want to cheat on my wife and like, how can I fuck? And it was just the way he was talking. He's like, how can I fuck bitches? And I was like, you know, he's like, I just want some beautiful bitches. And like, he's just using the word bitches like all the time. It's just like this whole long thing about, I want to fuck other bitches. How do I cheat on my wife? Can you coach me with that? And I'm just like, the fuck is this shit? Like, how did you manage to get through all that screening of me making it really damn clear that I have nothing to do with anyone who's not on board with honesty. I don't, you know, if you don't want to be honest, fine, but fuck off. Like, I don't want you in my sphere, so to speak. I don't want to know that you exist. And this guy somehow got through that. You see that a lot of the time. Like, they'll just like, every now and then one more and we'll get through. I mean, I guess you see it in my YouTube comments every now and then with some guy that just hates women. It's like, how did you find your way into this channel?
YouTube is more like anyone can.
I know, you get random fucking like 16-year-old children going like, you're right, you got to be alpha Chad, like fuck those women just want your wallet, like blah 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 blah. Anyway, the moral of the story is subscribe and like this video. Sure. And now go out there and crush your goals after that.